previously known as Atum, Ra is the most important Egyptian god. He created himself out of the Ogdoad's primordial chaos, and then created Shu and Tefnut to form the world. Now he sails across the sky in his solar boats. Ra was the Egyptian god of the sun. He was extremely important to the Egyptian religion, was the ruler of all created. It was unclear what the word Ra means. If not a word for sun, it could have to do with creator or create. Ra is born every morning in the east, and he rides a solar boat across the sky each day, surveying his people. Every evening he dies in the west, which is why the west bank of the Nile is the side of the dead, where the pyramids were. We ask expert Egyptologist Selyanka Purnaikoldman for details.
To the Egyptians, he represented light, warmth, and growth. All forms of life were supposed to come from him.
Mankind was created specifically from his tears and sweat. The Egyptians saw themselves as cattle of Ra, until of course he became a son of Ra, or pharaoh. The Ogdoad were the original 8 beings before there were any beings. Nun and Nona, part of the Ogdoad, were the rulers of the primordial watery chaos that Ra created himself out of. They are sometimes considered to be his parents because they created the chaos he came out of. But when did his worship begin? We ask archaeologist Barbara Rubbera for answers.
In Heliopolis, he was first known as Atum, but a newer name began to grow in popularity, the name Ra.
The names were merged, making Atum Ra, and then just Ra for short.
In his atom form, he was seen as the creator of the gods Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Nut, Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys.
His local cult began to grow from roughly the 2nd dynasty, establishing Ra as the official sun deity. By the 4th dynasty, pharaohs were considered to be sons of Ra.
His worship increased massively in the 5th dynasty, when pharaohs had specially aligned pyramids, obelisks, and solar temples built in his honor.
The Middle Kingdom saw Ra being often affiliated with other deities like Osiris, Horus, and Amun.
During the New Kingdom, tomb walls began to be covered in extremely detailed texts of Ra's journey through the underworld.
Every night after he goes over the horizon, Ra switches into his night boat and straps himself in as he prepares himself for his nightly job. We talk to mythologist Arabella Fluffcat, who happens to speak in a different language that humans cannot understand or hear. Yeah, some of this Egyptian mythology can be pretty weird. Then at the very end, like a video game boss, the giant snake Apep tries to gobble him up.
Whenever he manages to get a bite, we get an eclipse.
Usually Ra's not alone on the boat. Selected top gods often came along for the thrilling ride. Thoth, Mot, Hathor, and Horus are the top crew, with Abdu and Anet as early warning system.
And Khepri, the dung beetle, was some sort of morning mascot.
Some other gods may have felt that Ra had too much of the spotlight, so some gods decided to add Ra to their names to see if they'd become cooler. Ra was so very important to the Egyptians, but did he affect anyone else? What did Ra have to do with the rest of the world? Let's ask our experts.
The Egyptian religion kind of started the great reign of sun worshippers.
With Ra at its head, plenty of other religions worshipped the sun, but they all followed Egypt's lead. Even though Egyptian mythology was completely polytheistic, it could be also looked at as monotheistic.
be said to be the first Egyptian monotheistic religion.
Although Aten, the sun disk, was considered to be the first and only Egyptian monotheistic religion, some could say that Ra was.
Ra, he was the god of gods.
It was amazing how many people could all believe and devote their lives to this god.
There's his all-powerful glare, looking down on you.